All right, guys, so I rolled up to the old Packard Rivet Works today, ready to film a chill, quiet walkthrough. Just another forgotten piece of industrial history. But seriously, maybe 30 seconds after I slipped inside, something felt off. Not just the usual dust and decay, but something fresher. I saw boot prints in the thick, undisturbed dust on the floor, and they weren't covered in rust like everything else in here. And then there was this faint smell, like someone had just snuffed out a cigarette. Not a stale old smell, but recent. My gut was telling me to bail right then and there, but you know me. I hit record anyway, because if I'd turned tail at that point, you'd never, ever believe what I saw next. Trust me on this one. So, a little history for you, just to set the scene. This place, the Packard Rivet Works, it officially closed its doors back in '93. Not a quiet retirement either. It went down after a brutal strike, followed by a fire that tragically took 2 lives. The local papers, they all reported the place was picked clean, stripped bare, totally abandoned. But if you spend any time digging around online forums, you'll find whispers, persistent rumors that the tunnels running deep beneath the loading dock, they still hum at night. A low thrum, like old machinery trying to wake up, or maybe something else entirely. I slide through a broken roll-up door, the metal groaning a protest that echoes through the cavernous space. I whisper a quick history lesson for you guys, just for context, 12 acres of forgotten history, 3 expansive floors, and a basement that, get this, once housed 2 miles of pneumatic tubing. Imagine the sound of that thing running. Now, sunlight, what little there is, slices through the shattered skylights above, painting ghostly stripes across the dusty concrete. Pigeons, disturbed by my entrance, flap and coo, sounding like loose, forgotten files being shuffled in a phantom office.
I try to keep the tone light, my usual vibe. I point out an old-time clock, still proudly displaying its yellowed cards, frozen in time. I even crack a joke, something about how the workers forgot to punch out for good. Classic Nate, trying to lighten the mood. But then, midway through the ground floor, my eyes catch on something that immediately snuffs out the humor. A stack of brand new pallets. Not old, not weathered, but brand new, still wrapped in clear plastic. No weathering, no dust, nothing that says they've been sitting here for 3 decades. My voice, without me even realizing it, drops to a whisper. It's like my body knows something before my brain does. I try to rationalize it, tell myself it's just some Herban kids. Maybe they're setting up a skate spot or building a fort. But the air feels heavy, watched. I can almost feel eyes on me from the shadows. Still, I keep filming, because that's the deal we've got, right? You trust me to show you the real pulse of these forgotten places, the raw, unfiltered truth, and I trust you to watch it later, to bear witness with me.
Each step I take is a crunch of broken glass, a symphony of tiny explosions that feel like fireworks in the otherwise suffocating silence. It's so loud it feels like it's announcing my every move. Halfway down, my flashlight beam catches something else. A fresh energy drink can. Not an old dusty one, but a vibrant modern design. I pick it up, and it's still cold. Condensation beads on the rim, clear as day. That's when the chilling realization hits me. Whoever's here hasn't been here long at all. Not even an hour, probably. The air just got a whole lot thicker. Quick pause here just for a second. If you're new to the channel, then hey there, I'm Nate. I'm the guy who explores these forgotten places so you don't have to, bringing you the stories and the sights. I drop new stories every single Tuesday, so if you want to hear what happens when I finally reach that creepy basement, because trust me, things are about to speed up in a big way, then smash that subscribe button. You won't want to miss this. Okay, so the cold can is a clear sign, right? I follow the direction it was facing, which leads me deeper into the east wing, the part of the factory where the massive boilers used to roar, heating this whole monster of a building. Now it's just cold and dark. This corridor is significantly darker than the main floor, a real black hole. My torch beam cuts through the gloom, catching floating dust particles that shimmer and dance like glitter in a snow globe. It's almost beautiful if it wasn't so unsettling. And then I hear it again. Another noise. But this time, it's closer. Definitely closer. It's a boot tread, heavy and deliberate. 2 distinct steps, then a pause, then another 2 steps, then another pause. It's almost like whoever it is wants to be heard, wants to announce their presence, to make sure I know they're here. My whisper, already a fragile thing, cracks as I try to call out, "I'm just here for pictures, man, just documenting the history." No reply. Just that heavy, deliberate silence again. But the air, it shifts. There's a palpable pressure change, that heavy, thick feeling you get right before a massive storm breaks. It's not just in my head, it's a physical sensation. I round a corner, my flashlight beam sweeping ahead, and there it is, a beat-up folding chair set up against a grimy wall. On the floor beside it, a thermos, and I can actually see steam, faint but unmistakable, curling out from the spout. Someone isn't just passing through, someone is living here. My camera's still rolling, thank God, but my hand, it's shaking, a fine tremor that I can't control. Suddenly, those online forum warnings flash through my mind, the ones I always half dismissed. Squatters guard their turf like wolves. The words echo in my head, cold and sharp. My instinct screams to backtrack, to retrace my steps, but as I turn, the stairwell behind me, the one I just came down, now echoes with a second set of footsteps, heavier, faster, running up. I'm trapped. My only option, my only perceived way out is forward, deeper into this labyrinthine wing.
Because the exit roll-up door, the one I'm hoping is still open, it's that way. My breathing, ragged and desperate, turns into the only soundtrack I can hear. I push through a thick, plastic curtain, the kind they used to separate different sections of the factory, and find myself in what must have been the old paint shop. It's even darker in here, the air thick with the faint, sweet, sick smell of ancient chemicals. Red vents, huge and rusted, line the ceiling like a row of hollow, unblinking eyes, watching everything. My flashlight beam, shaky as it is, drifts across the room and lands on a figure. They're crouched beside a barrel, their hood pulled low, their back to me. I stop dead, my heart hammering against my ribs, lodged somewhere in my throat. The figure slowly lifts a hand, not in greeting, not like a wave, but more like they're testing the air, feeling for something, or maybe just stretching. I try to speak, my voice barely a whisper. "Didn't mean to bother you." But the words feel tiny, insignificant, swallowed by the vast, oppressive silence of the room. And then, a second shape steps out from behind a massive concrete column, emerging from the shadows like it was always there, just waiting. This one wears a reflective vest, and my flashlight beam catches it, making it glow like a highway sign in the dark. Both heads turn, slowly, in unison, toward the lens of my camera. No faces, just deep, impenetrable shadow where their features should be. The first one, the one crouched by the barrel, speaks. Their voice is clear, surprisingly calm, but it carries an undeniable edge, a low rumble that vibrates through the air. "You lost, kid?" It's not a question of genuine concern or curiosity. It's a statement, a challenge. It's a voice that screams, territory, a warning. I start to backpedal, slowly at first, my camera dipping, the autofocus wildly hunting for something to lock onto in the gloom. They take a step forward, then another, in perfect sync. That's when I make the decision. This footage, no matter how good, isn't worth stitches, or worse. And just like that, I bolt. My boots hammer against the concrete floor, a frantic, desperate rhythm. The camera, still clutched in my hand, swings wildly, catching blurry flashes of peeling paint and rusted machinery. Corners blur into indistinguishable smudges as I sprint, pure adrenaline flooding my system. Behind me, I hear it. 2 sets of footsteps, heavy and purposeful. Then, terrifyingly, a third. More people are joining the chase, emerging from somewhere I hadn't seen, from the depths of this dark factory. I taste iron in my mouth, the metallic tang of fear and exertion. I literally spit that fear out, trying to clear my head and just keep running. Left past the old time clock, its yellowed cards still mocking me with their frozen moments. Right through the loading bay, a sudden glorious blast of moonlight, a white exit sign ahead promising freedom. I push harder, my lungs burning. But then, just as I'm about to burst out into the night, a harsh metallic clang echoes through the air. A chain-link gate. It slams shut, directly in front of me. My heart plummets. I pivot instantly, desperation clawing at my throat, my eyes scanning wildly for any alternative, any escape route. And there it is. A broken window, low on the wall, just big enough. I don't hesitate.
I dive through, the jagged glass tearing at my forearms, skinning them raw, but I don't feel it. I hit the gravel outside, rolling hard, scrambling to my feet. The sudden silence behind me is deafening. No footsteps, just the frantic pounding of my own pulse in my ears. I sprint, full out, the entire length of the parking lot, not even looking back. My car, it's right there. My keys, miraculously, are already in my hand, a small blessing from the sheer force of adrenaline. I'm still filming, the camera bouncing with every stride. Maybe for proof, maybe because it's just a deeply ingrained habit now, a part of who I am. I yank the door open, practically fall into the driver's seat, and jam the key into the ignition. The engine roars to life. Tires spit gravel like applause as I peel out, leaving the Packard Rivet Works and whatever was waiting inside in a cloud of dust. I don't stop until I'm a good mile down the road, pulling over onto the shoulder, lights off, engine still running. I'm breathing like I just raced daylight, every inhale a ragged gasp, every exhale a shudder. The camera's still recording, pointed vaguely at the dashboard. You can see the steering wheel, still clutched in my trembling hands, vibrating. My voice, when I finally manage to speak, is raw, cracking with adrenaline and fear. They weren't curious, I stammer out, the words catching in my throat. They weren't just some random people. They were waiting. They were waiting for me. The realization hits me with the force of a physical blow. Words out, guys. Words out that urbex explorers, people like us, we carry cash. We carry expensive cameras. We're easy targets. I promised myself, and I promise you right then and there, that I'm uploading this footage raw. No edits, no cuts, no fancy music. You're going to hear every ragged inhale, every shaky breath, every moment of genuine terror. I thank you guys for riding shotgun with me, for being here, because honestly, talking to this lens, talking to you all, it's the only thing keeping my hands from shaking apart right now. And please, listen to me. Rookies, anyone thinking about getting into this, abandoned doesn't mean empty. And those fresh footprints you see in the dust, they aren't always yours. So yeah, that was the Packard Rivet Works. 12 acres of rust, rumors, and 2, maybe 3 guys who definitely didn't want me cataloging their living room. That's probably the understatement of the year. I'll drop the full history deep dive, all the before and after pictures, in the description below if you want to geek out on the details. But right now, I'm heading straight home to lock every single door I own. If you learned something from this, if it gave you a bit of a thrill, or even just made you think twice, then please tap that like button. And if you know a spot that truly needs seeing, a place that's got a story to tell, drop a pin in the comments below. Stay safe out there, stay smart, and please listen to me. Rookies, anyone thinking about getting into this, abandoned doesn't mean empty. And those fresh footprints you see in the dust, they aren't always yours. See you Tuesday. From somewhere a lot brighter.